I talked about one of the common takes we as Bulls fans hear is that, what could have happened to the Bulls had Derrick Rose stayed healthy. I think it's one of the big what ifs in the NBA, and that's mainly due to the fact that before Rose got injured, he was coming off an MVP season at the age of 22. He essentially hadn't even reached his prime yet and was still performing at an MVP level, meaning, he could have gotten even better than he was at his 22-year-old MVP self. So anyway, I wanted to explore a bit further the notion that the Bulls would have won multiple championships if Rose had stayed healthy, and some of the assumptions that go behind this. So first and foremost, I think we all need to keep in mind that Gar Pax would have been managing this team had Rose stayed healthy. So there's that, knowing that the front office, I'm sure they would have found a way to mess things up for the Bulls even if Rose had stayed healthy, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt since they really created that team. So if you remember the season where Rose won the MVP in 2011, the Bulls finished the year with the #1 seed in the East and made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they faced the big three of the Miami Heat. Now, after a blowout game in Game 1 at the United Center, the Bulls then went on to lose the next 4 straight games, and Miami went off to the finals to play the Dallas Mavericks. Now, we can argue that the Bulls were probably a little too young, too inexperienced to face a team like the Heat, and that's actually fair. To be honest, I didn't expect the Bulls to beat the Heat that season. I really didn't. As much as I loved that team and knew that they were capable of great things, they were an incredible defensive team, I figured they would likely lose to the Heat and come back next season even stronger, go on to proceed in winning titles with a little more experience under the belt. They were all very young. So in 2012, the Bulls came back just as good as they looked last season. Mind you, this was a shortened season due to the lockout. They finished with the best record in the league yet again and the #1 seed in the East. But this time, of course, that was the year that Rose had the devastating injury in the playoffs that tore his ACL in Game 1. And then, of course, the rest is history. Okay, so what if Rose doesn't get injured, though? I think it's likely we would have seen the Bulls go back to the Eastern Conference Finals and play the Heat again. And again, I know these are extreme hypotheticals, but I believe they would have beat them that year and go on to win the title, taking out the Thunder. But here's the thing. I think it's possible this is the only title the Bulls would have won. Now, some of you might ask, well, the Bulls had Jimmy Butler starting to come into his own going into the 2013 season and really improving every season thereafter. You don't think a healthy Rose, Noah, Butler, and Deng would win another title? And the reason I don't is because in 2013, 2014, the Spurs became a phenomenal team. I mean, they were always great, especially in those years, but the years where Kawhi really started to excel made them a very tough challenge to compete against. And I'm just not sure the Bulls would be able to have gotten by them. And then, of course, in 2015, out of nowhere, the Warriors became an elite team. So not only do you still have to get through LeBron in the East, this time it would have been through the Cavs, but then you would also have to see the Warriors for 5 straight finals appearances. Now, I'm not saying the Bulls couldn't have done it, because if you have an MVP healthy Derrick Rose leading that team alongside an up-and-coming star like Jimmy Butler, you have a very strong chance of winning multiple titles. But here is the other challenge going into those, really 2015 and beyond, is that the league started evolving into a shooters league with a focus on the three-point shot. More and more teams started increasing the number of three-point attempts with every passing year, and of course the Warriors were the best one of them all, and mastering the space and pace offense and being the best three-point shooting team in the league. Now for the Bulls, even with a healthy Rose or Butler and Noah, these guys aren't shooters, right? They're especially not three-point shooters, even today. And for that reason, I think it would have been hard for them to really rake in multiple titles year after year once the league started going down that route of three-point specialists. So would the Bulls have won multiple titles had Rose stayed healthy? I think they likely would have won at least one championship, and it's certainly possible they win more, you know, given the depth and talent they would have had. But I don't think it would have been, you know, an easy foregone conclusion that, oh yes, the Bulls absolutely would have, you know, dominated. They would have won multiple titles had Rose just stayed healthy in his MVP form, and, you know, not with needing to go through LeBron James year after year and facing the Spurs and the Warriors. I just think that there is more to it than that. So would love to hear what you guys think though. How do you think the Bulls would have done if Rose never got injured? What would the team look like today? Let me know in the comments, and as always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan. This is a new channel, so don't miss out, and I will catch you guys in the next one.